Namaste and welcome to our show, Wellness Bites with Gauri. Hi, I'm Gauri Janarkar, founder of Iron Nutrition. And in today's show, we're going to talk a lot about kidney disease and nutrition. In today's show, I have a very special guest. She's not only a wonderful friend of mine, but she is a highly specialized dietitian, registered licensed dietitian. She also is an author, a speaker. She's also an Ayurveda practitioner and a registered yoga teacher. So, Pushpa, welcome to our show today. And Pushpa, tell us more about yourself and what makes Pushpa unique.
Okay, Gauri, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm very happy to be here to talk about kidney disease and nutrition because that's probably the majority of my practice. I've been a dietitian for over 30 years. My first job was in dialysis, so obviously I got so much into it, and I've been doing that for several years. And of course, I've also worked in other dialysis units and with the PD patients and all of that. And the last 5 years, I've been in private practice. Again, majority of my clients are also CKD, that is chronic kidney disease patients in stages 3 to 5, so before dialysis. And I've also studied Ayurveda, so I incorporate a lot of Ayurvedic principles in my practice. And as a yoga teacher, I also use that a lot sometimes for stress relief and sleep and things like that.
That's absolutely great, Pushpa, because I think, a lot of people, they hear about kidney disease and things, but they're not sure, who to go to. And then I'm so happy to have you, an expert on our show today. So let's divulge a little more deeper. Let's go a little deeper in our topic today. So Pushpa, what is kidney disease and who is at risk to get kidney disease?
Okay, so first of all, let's start with what the function of the kidney is. A kidney is usually filter all of the toxins from the body through the urine output. So if a lot of toxins start to build up in the blood, which comes mainly from the food that we eat, then all of these is removed by the kidneys and excreted out in the urine output. Now, usually when a person has kidney disease, their kidney is not functioning optimally. So obviously they're not getting rid of a lot of these toxins and starts to build up in the blood. And that's what we're looking for in the lab values. And about 37 million Americans are supposed to have kidney disease now. And before they end up on dialysis, there is a lot of things that you could do with diet and lifestyle so that you can prolong the progression and not really end up on dialysis as soon as a lot of people do. Actually, studies have shown only 4% of the people who go on dialysis actually go to a dietitian before that. So really, if they'd seen a dietitian before and learned a little bit more about diet and lifestyle, they could have actually delayed the progression.
So that is really very interesting to know that, nutrition plays such a important role, especially when it comes to slowing down, the progression of kidney disease. So Pushpa, I know we talked a little about what is kidney disease and things, but, a lot of times people do get in those, the reports and things. So what are the lab markers for determining kidney disease and what are the different stages?
Okay, so usually what happens is, again, I just want to mention who are the ones who are at risk factor for getting kidney disease, right? The people who've had diabetes for many, many years or blood pressure uncontrolled for many, many years, or of course have family history, end up with kidney disease. So they are the ones who should be really cautious. If they can catch it or take care of themselves in the initial stages, then there's a good chance they will not get there. So usually we look at the GFR, the glomerular filtration rate. That's the rate at which the kidney filters the toxins. So if it is less than 60, then they're said to be in kidney failure. So 30 to 60 is a stage 3, and 15 to 30 is considered to be stage 4, and less than 15 is considered to be stage 5. Now that's the stage where they may see symptoms, and the doctors usually tell them that we have to consider dialysis pretty soon because your numbers are getting lower. So, and usually we look at BUN and creatinine. BUN is blood urea nitrogen. Urea is the waste product that is formed by when you break down protein. And same thing with the creatinine, animal protein, when you break it down, it forms urea and creatinine. So naturally and if it starts building up in the blood, that means the kidney is not filtering all of these toxins. So what we can do is reduce the load on the kidneys by decreasing or reducing some of the proteins and stuff like that you eat in your diet so that you don't have this buildup.
So that is very interesting to know, these different biomarkers, the lab markers you talked about, especially the BUN, the creatinine, and you talked about the GFR, these being important for us to look at, what is basically how the kidney function is going on. The other question that comes to my mind is, since you're talking about kidney disease and, the process and the progression and things, how can you slow down the progression of kidney disease? Is it possible?
It is definitely possible. I mean, once you've gotten into renal failure, it's really hard to reverse it. But again, if you're very close to the 60, it's possible to reverse. And I had one patient to do that. But again, that's not very common. But at least you can definitely slow it down by a few years. You don't have to, especially if you're later in age. A lot of these patients are older people. So if you're like in your 80s, and I've even had a 90-year-old, then there's a chance that you could just keep them at that same level rather than end up on dialysis. Because once you end up on dialysis, your lifestyle changes and then your diet changes, and in fact you get, you might get even worse. So we definitely want to take care of our diet and lifestyle right now when you can.
So that is good to know that we can slow down the progression of kidney disease, and the diet definitely plays a very important role. Now, there's a lot of confusion out there. A lot of time people are confused. Plant-based proteins versus animal-based proteins. Which are better? And again, how can one be better from the other? And what are basically the benefits? Are there any effect on the kidney as well?
Yes, there is. So actually, a lot of studies have shown that even if you cut down your animal protein intake by 30%, I'm talking about if you're a meat eater, if you cut down even by 30%, you can slow down the kidney disease quite a bit. So now in recent conference that I attended, a lot of people talked about the plant-based protein moving towards that. So, and again, red meats, it's not, when I say animal protein, I mean anything like eggs or chicken, fish, red meats, anything. It's not just red meat. A lot of people have the conception it's only red meat. And again, red meat is also high in phosphorus, which is another metabolite that the kidney filters. So definitely that adds to it. But then the urine becomes really acidic when you eat a lot of these animal proteins. So that's why when you switch to plant-based protein, it cuts down the acidity in the urine. It again helps to also regulate blood pressure. It can also help you lose weight. So those are something great changes that would make a big difference in a person who eats a lot of animal protein. And I've had patients who are, used to this traditional American diet, which is like eating 3 meals a day with meat in it and 10, 12 ounces a day, which is a lot for the body to process.
I mean, definitely, that is a wonderful insight you just talked about, Pushpa, because there's when it comes to especially proteins, I know there's a lot of myths and things out there, and you talking about the plant-based proteins versus the animal-based protein, and actually how having more, actually including more plant-based protein into your diet would actually help with actually the kidney disease and thing. That is a great insight. Since you have a background in Ayurveda, you're an Ayurveda practitioner as well. One of the things that comes to my mind is, how do you use Ayurveda in kidney disease?
Okay, so first of all, when I have a patient with a kidney disease, I do go through a lot of these restrictions. So some of the restrictions are protein, as I already mentioned. Then we also restrict potassium. Potassium is another mineral that gets elevated in kidney disease. And if it gets too high, it can cause EKG changes, your heart rate changes, and that could even stop the heart sometimes. So definitely I talk about all of those, give them these lists and all of these things. But remember, no matter what you eat, if you're not digesting your food properly, it really doesn't matter what you eat, because even if you eat the healthiest food and your digestion is not working, and a lot of the older patients have constipation and problems with bowel habits, then definitely even eating the best diet, it may not always help. So that is where Ayurveda has added that extra component for me, because I've always talked about all of these diets and with my patients, but adding this extra component of Ayurveda, talking about digestion and making sure they're actually digesting, breaking, metabolizing the food, and also having a good bowel movement every day. Because remember, some of the toxins are gotten rid of by the kidney, but you're also getting rid of toxins through the bowel movement. So if you're not having a bowel movement every day or every other day, then you're not getting rid of the, the toxins either. So we definitely want to work on both of these. And the other thing, of course, how you increase digestion is through spices in Ayurveda. And of course, as an Indian also, we are so used to spices. It is nothing new for us, but definitely for the rest of the population, spices is a new novel concept. I mean, of course, we do have some Italians for like basil, oregano, things like that, but there are a lot of others, like turmeric, of course, has gotten a lot of press in the last few years. But of course, there are so many other spices that can also help. And some of these spices like cumin and coriander can be like diuretics. And kidney disease patients have edema, they build water and things. A lot of them even take diuretics sometimes. So when you take these spices in the form of, adding it to your food or as a tea, these can also help them go to the bathroom more. And I've also wanted to mention with National Kidney Foundation, dietitians have this segment called Kidneys in the Kitchen. And one of those segments, I did this with the dietitian from National Kidney Foundation, and we talked about spices. I actually showed them the spices and how you could use spices in your own diet and also use it for like a low sodium diet, because sodium is a big part of kidney disease as well. So how to make your own spice mixes. And we created like an Indian mix, we made an Italian mix, and also had a recipe for a Mexican mix. So definitely I would check that out. It's on YouTube at Kidneys in the Kitchen. It's done by National Kidney Foundation. Maybe you could search my name. It probably will show up. And I also have a YouTube channel. I would definitely try to add it to that as well.
Wonderful, Pushpa. That is great to know that, one of the things you touched upon, especially the digestion and how digestion will be an important part when it comes to, especially in Ayurveda, there's a lot of emphasis on digestion, and basically how we in Ayurveda we say is we are how we digest, and how it basically can help with even the kidney disease, making sure that the digestion is in place. You also talked about, adding spices and things, and you also mentioned the resource, which is on the National Kidney Foundation. I think it's a YouTube video as well. And Pushpa, besides that, are there any other resources you can point out to?
No, there are other resources. Yeah, so there are, and usually the patients who come to me, they're looking for resources online. Now everything is online. People Google for things and things like that. Unfortunately, when it comes to CKD 3 to 5, which is pre-dialysis, there's not a lot of information out there. There are like dialysis companies like Fresenius and DaVita, which put out a lot of information on recipes and diets and things like that. But the problem is those are all geared more towards the dialysis population. Now, the dialysis population is a different set altogether because their diet is not exactly the same. So for CKD, there's a protein restriction, whereas there they actually add more protein. So it's important to go to an expert or a dietitian who's familiar with these kinds of things and guide you in such a way that will help you. And again, for your individual needs, your personalized nutrition, not just like a general diet. And of course, we do have handouts. We've created handouts. I myself have created a handout with our Indian dietitians group in the academy. And of course, I've also kind of tailor-made it for the local population as well. So definitely, again, these are all resources that we dietitians have, which we can talk about. It's always better to go to an expert to learn, because kidney disease is a very complicated thing. If you do the wrong thing, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble. And just going on Google and looking at things may not be the best solution. It might be something to learn a little bit about kidney disease. But again, if you really want to help yourself, you should go to somebody who can help you.
And definitely, I definitely agree with that, Pushpa, that, especially when it's with something with kidney disease, which is a little more complicated, having an expert like a dietitian, and Pushpa, you yourself, you're a registered dietitian who specializes in renal disease. So having somebody like you, guide them definitely can make a lot of difference, especially to take out, there's a lot of overwhelm, a lot of times, there's a lot of fear, and to have somebody like you guide them, step by step, and letting them know how they can actually, when it comes to meal planning and things, when it comes to kidney disease, that will make a lot of difference. So Pushpa, what wellness health tips would you like to share with our audience today?
Probably the only thing I would like to say is that eat mindfully, sit down and enjoy a meal. And that is something most people don't do in this Russian, everybody's rushing around doing things. So definitely sit mindfully, eat your food, because that itself is going to help with your digestion quite a bit. And again, that is your time for relaxation. It's sort of like a meditation in itself. And once you start eating like that, you can actually improve your digestion and help yourself. Because if the gut is working properly, you're going to be healthy.
Absolutely, Pushpa, and thank you for sharing those wonderful tips, because definitely, there's a lot of emphasis on the gut health, especially with our digestion and things. And definitely, when our gut health is in place, our health and wellness is in place. So, Pushpa, for your personal health and wellness routine, is there a particular routine you follow for yourself?
Well, I follow the same. I mean, follow the Ayurvedic principles. I eat my main meal for lunch. Sometimes eat breakfast if I'm hungry. Otherwise, I might just go straight to lunch. And I had a very light dinner. And of course, I do yoga a couple of times a week. I have a yoga class, and then the rest of the days I do of course, I do meditation and yogic breathing every day. I also believe in yogic breathing. That's something everybody should do. It's more controlled breathing. And a lot of the aging population, they have so much stress and anxiety, and it really helps them. So that is really a therapy for myself as well. So I believe in that completely. So that's my routine. And again, I always pay attention to my body. I listen to my mind. I know if something is off balance, I like to fix myself right away before I get into any kind of problem.
Wonderful, Pushpa. I mean, it's very inspiring to listen to you about your routine and how you actually bring in both Ayurveda and, the yoga and nutrition all together. And especially not just for yourself, but also for, the clients or patients who come and visit you as well. Do you have any update or any event or anything you want to share about your practice?
So, I mean, I would recommend you go check out my website, vpknutrition.com. So I have a lot of blogs in there. I have some recipes also specifically for people with CKD, with low potassium and things like that. Some easy recipes using the Instant Pot. And I also have just started a YouTube channel about 3 weeks ago, and I'm sharing a lot of information about just healthy eating, healthy living, how to understand your food, how to connect with your body, mind. It's called VPK Nutrition, Mind, Body Healing with Pushpa. So definitely check out my YouTube. It's all short videos. Once a week I'm posting in there, and you'll learn a lot of things to help yourself. So it's more about being aware and helping yourself. So definitely check out my YouTube channel, share it with others, subscribe. And again, my website has all the information, and also I have a booking page on there. So if you want to make an appointment with me, I'm doing a lot of virtual counseling right now. So definitely, if you're interested, please, request a booking. I can also do a free discovery call, which you can also book online.
Wonderful, Pushpa. So that is great to know, especially about the practice and how people can contact you through your website as well, and to know that you have the YouTube channel where you're posting videos so that people have more information about when it comes to Ayurveda and things, and also for the kidney disease and things, and some of the recipes and things you're posting. So that's a wonderful resource. Absolutely great videos. And let me so that is wonderful, Pushpa. It has been just great to know, divulge more into the kidney disease, know more about, the impact on nutrition has, what role it plays on kidney disease and things as well. And I mentioned earlier that, Pushpa is an author as well. So Pushpa and myself, we have written 2 books. One is the Primer on Ayurveda, and second one is the Ayurveda and Yoga, a Path to Health and Healing. And Pushpa is going to show you both the books and tell us a little more about these books as well.
Yeah, okay, so this is the first book called The Primer on, I hope you can see the picture. This is a book that we wrote in 2018, but then we revised it recently to make it a bigger version and a second edition, added a whole bunch of things from our second book. So this is geared mainly towards dietitians and nutritionists or health coaches, yoga teachers, or any healthcare professional who want to use Ayurvedic principles in their practice. And so this has a lot of questions at the end of every chapter, asking patients, what to ask your patients and things like that. So you can talk about digestion. Now, the second book that we just published last year in 2020 is called Ayurveda and Yoga, A Path to Health and Healing. And this is meant for anyone who wants to take care of their health, who want to learn more about diet and lifestyle and yoga and all. Again, remember, yoga is not just doing a bunch of poses. It also has a lot of other components to it. So that's what this covers. Of course, we have a bunch of recipes in there, some herbal teas, which is very common in Ayurveda for healing. And also we have a bunch of spices, about a dozen spices. We've talked in detail about them. So of course, we also did a book launch, which you can go on YouTube and look at it as well. So both books are available on Amazon, and you would learn a lot more. And again, my videos would cover these as well. And we are developing a course as well for dietitians.
Thank you so much, Pushpa, and it is wonderful, that you showed the books you've written and things. So again, just want to share that these both these books are available on Amazon. So make sure that if you are a dietitian, definitely the Primer on Ayurveda is a great resource. If you're looking, just for yourself, knowing more about Ayurveda and yoga, the Path to Health and Healing is wonderful. Both are available on Amazon, and we would love to know more about, once you have the book, your reviews and things about the book as well. So I would like to thank Pushpa today for being on our show and again providing a lot of these wonderful insights, especially with kidney disease and nutrition. I know there's a lot of myths and things, a lot of fear, a lot of overwhelm out there. So definitely, if you have any questions and you want to reach out to Pushpa, make sure that you reach out to Pushpa. I will be having those links for you on our YouTube channel with the links to you, Pushpa's both the YouTube as well as a website as well as a contact information. So if you need to reach out to Pushpa for consults and things, you can definitely do so. So thank you once again for coming on our show. It's been absolutely great to have you. I always learn a lot from you, Pushpa. Every time I talk to you, discussing with you, I just feel like, I've always got a lot when it comes to, any discussion. It's like you're like a, what do you call, the lot of information that you have and a lot of expertise that you can definitely provide as well. So
Thanks.
Yeah,
thank you, Gauri. Thank you for having me. Namaste. And hope, people learn a lot more by watching our videos.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that is definitely the goal here, Pushpa. And so for all of you, keep tuning, keep listening to our podcast, as well as this will be available as well on our YouTube channel, which is same as Wellness Bites with Gauri under Ayur Nutrition. And if you have any suggestions for us regarding more topics as well as more experts you would like us to bring on our show, make sure to do contact us as well. And keep tuning and keep listening to Wellness Bites with Gauri. Thanks a lot.